If you ever tried cyclic dextrin unflavored on its own,
Oof.
and I've done that.
Try adding
And
some
then,
unflavored EAA to that.
well,
It gets
and
even
try and
worse.
try blending tuna with it, and that's even worse. So
Oh,
bodybuilding, it's not actually that expensive. There is other hobbies, in my opinion, that are far more expensive than bodybuilding. Bodybuilding lifestyle can actually make you extremely mindful of your spending. It can actually lead to you saving money in various different ways because you're not wasting money on garbage you don't need.
hey, what's up, guys? Life is expensive and bodybuilding is by no means cheap, but your budget doesn't have to stop you from making fantastic progress. My first contest prep, literally every $5 was budgeted out, but I made it work. Today, I'm joined again by IFBB Pro Kuba Cielen, and we are going to explore bodybuilding on a budget. Thank you to everybody from Patreon. Thank you for your support over there. I'll have links below to Patreon, to truenutrition.com. Use our code THINK to get 10% off. And if you're in Canada, supplementsource.ca for our Canadians. Guys, get those deals. What's up, Kuba?
I am fantastic, Scott. How are you?
I am doing great, man. Hey, real quick, before we get into this thing, how far out are you from your show now?
Oh, it's getting close, man. It's getting close. I am exactly, let me just give you to the day and time, 3 weeks and 4 days.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks and 4 days out.
3
Heck
weeks,
yeah,
4
man.
days out. I was 247 pounds yesterday.
Okay.
Today I was 245.9, and we are coming in, my friend.
Hell yeah,
So,
dude.
Yeah, it's coming. Slowly but surely. I'm on track to be ready over the next pretty much. If I want to really be ready in a week's time, I could push to be ready in a week.
Okay.
But that's not the goal. I've already had to back off my steps. I always do a formal walk on treadmill, but that was actually hurting my legs quite a lot. But
Okay.
I am a little bit of a I wouldn't say self-sabotage, right? But it is self-sabotage in a way, because if I was my own client, I would be like, you're not doing any steps on treadmill, you idiot. Just do your steps outside. You don't need to do any treadmill. But for me, I get stuff in my head where I'm like, I've got to do it because it's almost like a little bit of a harder route, but
you want to make it hard. Yeah.
But listen, and this is a lesson for all the listeners, when progress is coming, right, you need to do just enough and just what's needed to keep the progress going.
Yeah.
Because if you sometimes start doing more, you actually create more problems for yourself, and you can actually do more damage than good. And I see this so often with clients, so often. They make incredible progress, then they start doing more volume, they start doing extra cardio, doing this, doing that, and then they stop making progress, stop recovering, and it all starts to fall apart. So, big lesson for me, and it's something that I always have to wrap my head around, especially when, like, even now, my steps had to come down to slow down the rate of loss. It's like I don't feel like I'm on prep at all. Like, I'm not really hungry. Food isn't low.
Okay.
Conditions great. Training's flying. So for me, it's like I almost feel guilty because I want to be suffering, but it's just not happening. But listen, that's just a byproduct of how committed I have been to the off season. For me, there is no off season. It's like I see so many guys that have blown it this year on stage because they took their off season as an off season.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a great bodybuilder and you're not a genetic freak, there is no off season. You have to be on, unfortunately. And that's just what it takes. But for me, I take a lot of pride in doing that. But I also thrive in that sort of environment. And I love it. It's like the prep routine. And it's almost like I do have a real addictive personality. Like my family, let's just say, is there's a lot of people that struggle with certain addictions.
I follow you.
And I definitely have that trait.
Yeah.
And one thing I've realized personally is like I'm definitely addicted to not just the process, but I'm addicted to the discipline that comes as part of the process. because that discipline gives me freedom in a way, because it gives me a lot of control. And that control gives me freedom and almost power and happiness.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
You can probably really relate to that, understand that. But
I can relate to that 100%, man.
Yeah, I don't think many people will, but if some people can, then fair enough.
I think a lot of people listening to this program and a lot of people who connect to bodybuilding like you or I do, I think that maybe more people than you know will connect to it. But hey, let's jump into this thing, man, because I know you have a bunch of stuff. You've got notes. I've got notes.
I've got notes.
Man,
plenty of notes.
They wanted to hear about this topic. We got into it the other day. Somebody last episode, we addressed a comment. Somebody said, yeah, well, this is all fine and good, Kuba, you know, taking all this hundreds of dollars of this and thousands of dollars of that, you know, but what about, I don't have the money to be doing all this. I'm just a dude who's trying to get in the best shape I can be, you know, and I have to think about my budget kind of thing. And we thought, well, hey, you know, there's that whole other side that you addressed and you're like, hey, dude, I worked hard. I started from nothing, right? And you've built the life you have today in order to bodybuild at the level you do it at. Now, what about though for the guys that maybe are in a different position, don't have the nearly the finances, maybe they've got other responsibilities, they've got kids. We don't want people like, you know, trading in the formula money for GH. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what, Scott? I'll be super honest here.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding can be extremely cheap.
Yeah.
It seriously is, because when you look at the way you can manage your spending and how you can source your food, I know a lot of clients that I work with that do have families. Bodybuilding and the way they budget and the way they shop for bodybuilding actually saves them a lot of money in comparison to the money that they used to spend in the past and how much food they used to waste in past as well. Because think about this, right? When you are just living a normal personal lifestyle, right? And you are not really auditing what you need to spend, and you are not auditing what you are actually spending on some of the little habits and little things like coffees, etc., which, again, I'll get into all of this. When you add it all up, the figure is extortionate. Like the money that people waste on just garbage every day would literally pay for 2 bodybuilders' food shops per week.
Yeah, especially if they go to Starbucks.
That's legit, 100%. I mean, a Starbucks, a couple of treats a day, let's say 2 coffees per day and a couple of treats, a couple of soft drinks per day, and a lunch out every day.
Yeah.
That could have, especially in America, I mean, that could be like $50 per day.
Easy. Yeah, really
easily. Could. $50 per day, that's $350 a week. That would probably buy 2 weeks worth of shopping if you are smart about where you shop for your bodybuilding.
Okay, that's a great place to start.
It could literally supply you for weeks. Now, I think a great place to start first, Scott, and this is on topic but off topic,
okay,
is I think auditing spending habits.
Okay, yeah.
If you want to have a budget and if you want to do bodybuilding and a budget thing, first, you need to audit your spending. Most people waste so much money monthly, subconsciously, and without even realizing, on subscriptions that they don't even use.
Oh, yeah.
People very often subscribe to either gyms or subscription services that they never ever use, but it's like $5 here or £5, whatever you want to call it, £10 here, £15 here. And it's something I actually did with my wife not long ago. I was like, listen, you're paying out for all of these things every single month. When you look at them individually, it doesn't feel like anything. But when you add all of these things up, it added up to like £175 a month.
Yeah. I'm paying for 2 television subscription services right now. It's literally $30 a month, and I'm about to cancel one because it's one too many right now. We have the one, you know, and that's all I need.
No.
Yeah, we were. And then like the show ended, but I didn't cancel it. Now it's been on for an extra month. So I'm like, man, I got to get rid of that, you know?
Small little things like YouTube Premium. Do you need YouTube Premium?
Yeah.
You probably don't. That's £15 you could save there again.
Yeah.
Now, first, I urge people to audit their subscriptions and audit everything they are actually paying out for per month, they do not use. And I promise you, vast majority of listeners right now are probably going to save at least $100 per month, if not more. And that is no exaggeration. I know numerous of my friends that probably pay out close to £200 per month on bullshit they do not use.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. Audit your subscriptions, first and foremost. Secondly, I want you to track exactly how much you spend on coffees and treats per week. Don't think about it. I want you to audit a full week worth of spending on all of the small little things that you could actually go without.
And does that include, like, if I buy a 12 pack of Coke Zero and I have a Coke Zero every day, does that count?
No.
Okay.
Because that would actually save you money, especially if you're buying a Coke Zero from a shop and you're buying a 12 pack. But if you're buying it just from a local shop and you're paying over the odds for it, then I would definitely add to that, because you can buy a 12 pack of Coke Zero and it works out like something like 25 or 50p a can. But if you go to a normal local shop, it could be like £1.50.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, right?
Yeah, they're like $3 here.
Yeah, so you buy a couple of cans, that's $6 a day.
Yeah.
So it adds up across the week, right? So coffee, any little treats, anything that you spend across your week that you could go without, right? Audit that. And then I want you to assess your random spending habits. A lot of people have very peculiar, very random spending habits where they like to spend money just for sake of spending money. It's almost like a little bit of a dopamine hit. A lot of people actually do it a lot in prep, where they will buy clothes, they will buy random shit. And it's not that they need it. They don't need it. They are just looking for that dopamine hit that they get from buying.
They're trying to fill that void.
Absolutely.
You're not putting food in, you're not getting the hit from that. So you're trying to fill that with something. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, once you have audited your spending, then you can start planning your budget. Because that's the whole point, right? Bodybuilding a budget. You need to work out what budget you have and how much money you have to spend, or how much money realistically you need to be spending or saving per week in order to make it work, right? Now, the first thing I do with a lot of clients that sign up to me, especially USA clients, and a lot of them are not very used to it, and that is going to be a huge thing that stops people wasting a lot of food, is weighing your food raw instead of cooked.
Okay.
If you weigh your food raw, you are not wasting a single gram of that food. You are not wasting a single grain of rice. You are not wasting a single piece of potato. Weigh your food raw, not cooked.
Okay.
Very often, people that weigh their food cooked, the amount of times they will just throw food away because it's either gone off or they don't like it anymore because it's not fresh. It all adds up across the week and across the month. It could equate to probably 5 or 6 portions of meat if someone isn't mindful of it. So small little change, guys, that you can make. And again, you are going to, I don't care what anyone says, right? I can argue this point to death. If you weigh your food raw, it will always be more accurate. I do not care what anyone says. I will stand by that. I will stand by that until the day I die.
Okay. I won't argue with you then. I won't get into it. We got more important fish to fry.
100%.
All puns intended.
Cook your food raw to not waste any food.
All right.
Set the budget, and then we can come down to, I've got actually a list of stuff on what shops you can utilize, what food sources you can utilize, and how you can save money, what carbohydrates, what protein, what veg, what fruit sources, what shops, what supplements, how to get the deals. Again, gym memberships, how to meal prep and budget control with that. It's, and again, buying in bulk and batch cooking as well. Yeah. And then obviously I've already spoke about it, but eliminating the random spending with, coffee shop visits, protein bars, brews, etc., alcohol takeaways, eating out, auditing all of that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that we can get into now. Where do you want to start?
Oh man, I mean, I think the food stuff is really important. You know,
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, I didn't shop at just one store for
No,
my foods.
no.
Another thing I want to make sure we cover too is what are the supplements we actually need? I'd
Yeah.
like to get it at some point in here, you know, because I do feel like if you have more money, it would be nice to be able to take this, and this, but there are some things that's like, hey, we really don't need that, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd love to get into that too. Let's start with that food though. I think that'd be a great place. That's where we spend a lot, and food is not cheap right now, you know?
Absolutely. Now, right, when it comes to food, I think first we need to go with the protein sources, right?
Absolutely. That's probably your most expensive part, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, this is something that I had to do in my early days because I simply couldn't afford to buy stuff in supermarket. It just wasn't cause for me, right? If I was to do my entire food shop in just Tesco or any even cheaper supermarket in UK like Aldi or Lidl, which are very, very reasonably priced,
Yeah.
I would still get a better deal shopping at actual wholesalers.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
guys do like wholesale stuff, huh?
Yeah. In UK, you've got Costco, you've got Macro, who
Ah,
actually supply restaurants.
yeah.
But in every single city, you can actually find, even if you Google it, you can actually find butchers that supply the actual restaurants and supply butchers.
Okay.
So I would often go to a butcher's that actually does the supplying, and we would often buy a piece of a cow, and my dad would actually skin it down, and my
Oh,
dad would
wow.
portion it all out for me. The same with chicken. The biggest issue was when you used to buy the chicken and buy the beef, it would be very, very cheap, but it would take a lot of work to kind of clean all the crap from it. But that's
Yeah.
completely fine because my dad was super skilled at that anyway. But
Okay.
generally, when it came to shopping, I used to shop at Macro, which is exactly what restaurants use to get the supplies. If you know how to speak to people, absolutely anyone can get a membership at Macro.
Okay.
You can get it like easily. It's the same as Costco. Like most people can get it. You just have to pay a small little fee, but it's very much worth it. The only issue is anything you buy there is bulk bought. So you get 20 kilo bags of potatoes, you get big bags of seasoning, you get big bags of chicken. You can get stuff there relatively cheap, even when it comes to meat. So you could do a majority of your shop in a place like Macros. But when it comes to selecting, for example, protein sources, when you are in a budget, I think sticking to eggs, which is in UK, eggs are still pretty cheap. I know in America you've gone through a phase where it was super expensive.
They're coming back down now. And it
Yeah.
depends where you shop, because I have 3 or 4 different grocery stores. And for me, Costco
Yeah.
isn't the cheapest for eggs, but I can find some places that are cheaper. I have, and the key for me, Kuba, and this is something I did all along, especially when the
Yeah.
budget was tight. I knew where to go for what products. This place
Yeah.
had eggs for cheap. This place has meat for cheap. I'll go to Costco now to get my chicken, and they have it for $2.99 per pound. And the chicken is good versus the chicken I get from my Meijer grocery store. That $2.99 chicken I can't handle. I got to get like the fancy chicken if I'm going to shop there. Otherwise, I just can't. I can't stomach it, man. But yeah, definitely shopping around.
Honestly, Scott, you can get frozen fish, frozen
Yeah.
chicken, extremely cheap.
You got to be careful, I think, sometimes with the frozen chicken, at least here, they have it all puffed up with sodium so that you thaw those breasts out and you start cooking them. And what was 6 ounces is like 2.5, I'm exaggerating. It's 2.5 ounces when you're done. You know what I mean? So we do have some of those deals that aren't necessarily deals in the end. I don't know how they
Luckily-
do that over there.
Luckily, in Europe, they're not actually allowed to do much to food in comparison to USA. Do you know what? I actually did a lecture for my clients talking about this because the FDA, I pretty much think, has 20% leeway for not being as transparent with the nutritional value of the food.
Okay.
And in Europe, it's like 10%. So the difference is wild. But also in Europe, there's different legalities. There's different stuff that's put in place to kind of protect the quality of the food as well.
Yeah.
But what I personally used to have that up for, because I do come from quite a poor background, I used to eat a lot of tuna fish.
Oh, I was just thinking tuna fish, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tin tuna and potatoes was pretty much staple on my diet, both extremely cheap, and I used to buy them in bulk. Lidl in UK you used to get 4 packs of tuna for like, I'm pretty sure it was like £1.50 or something stupid. So my whole meals for the day, Scott, probably worked out like £3.50 because I used to eat 3 tuna meals per day.
Yep.
And I used to eat potatoes with it. Then bulk protein and my protein back in the day, they used to always have 50% off discounts.
Okay.
Every month. So I would never ever buy any supplements until they came with 50% off.
Yeah.
And what I would often do is buy a bag of unflavored whey and a bag of flavored whey, because the unflavored whey would be extremely cheap. Then the bag of flavored whey would be a little bit more expensive. But what I would then do is I would have a scoop of flavored and a scoop of unflavored.
Yeah.
So I would have double the amount for half the cost.
I love it.
So this way, I would have 3 tuna meals with potatoes. And I used to actually blend my tuna and drink it. Then I would have one or 2 whey meals and 1 chicken meal or beef meal.
Okay.
The chicken would always come from a butcher's or a wholesaler's, which again would be half the price of what we'd pay in the supermarket. And then when it came to actual supermarket choices, in UK, you've got different tiers of supermarkets. You've got Marks and Spencer's, Waitrose, which are extremely high quality but extremely high priced. You've then got Sainsbury's, which is still relatively expensive but extremely high quality. Then you've got Aldi, Tesco, which are like mid-range, Morrison's, and then you've got Lidl and Aldi, who are much cheaper but not necessarily the best quality.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of the stuff is actually really good, but Aldi and Lidl are known for being the cheapest options.
Okay.
So I would always get my veg and fruit from Lidl because that's where it was cheapest. Always get the frozen fruit because frozen fruit is much cheaper.
True.
If you came at a certain time, they would always have fresh fruit on offer on sale. So I would always go in towards later on in the day when they used to have offers on in the sales. So I would try and get as much sales as possible. But generally, I would always opt for buying frozen fruit just to save money, especially in the supermarkets that I knew had the cheapest options. So I would always buy from numerous different places to save money. And luckily, they wasn't far away from each other. It was only a few minute drive. And obviously, mum and dad was doing the shopping for themselves as well. So it was handy because I was in the car with them and I was able to just get the supplies and get the right prices. And then when it came to protein, it was always frozen fish, which I actually bought from a supplier that, again, supplied restaurants.
Yep.
In UK, you've got different cash and carries, they're called, right? A lot of UK listeners will know what cash and carry is. Okay. Cash and carry is basically what cafes use in restaurants. So cash and carry is what cafes and restaurants use. They use Costco, they use Macro. Cash and carry is basically a place where you go and buy either like bulk frozen products or like energy drinks and stuff like that as well. There was a cash and carry in Sheffield that used to do like 20 kilos worth of cod. It was frozen, it was good quality, but it was very, very cheap. So, and generally, that's where fish and chip shops used to buy it from.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was able to get the top price for good fish.
Yeah.
And every month I would take a trip out there to buy it and I would freeze it, portion it out. And that would do me for the month.
Yeah. And like you're saying, it takes a little bit more work, right? But in that planning ahead, but definitely I'm right on the same page with you, man. I think I did mostly all the same stuff. I would work whey protein, actually, when it comes to as a protein source, isn't expensive.
No.
So I'd work whey protein in as well, and egg whites. And what I would often do to take eggs to work with me is, each egg white is about 4 grams of protein. I would hard boil the dozen up, put it back in the container, and put that in my cooler to take with me. And then one of my meals was going to be 12 egg whites.
See, egg whites are not actually that cheap here.
Okay.
They're not actually that cheap.
When you these are like the whole hard boiling the egg and then only eating the white, Yeah.
See, eggs as well. Eggs are super cheap in cash and carries as well. So I never used to get like trays of 6. There used to be trays of like 30 eggs. So we used to bulk buy the eggs as well, and that would actually work out quite cost effective too. So generally, buying in bulk and buying from various different suppliers is always the best way to go. Now, look, if you are an extremely busy individual and your work days are stacked, it's probably not going to be cost effective for you to do that. However, I was at a stage in my life where I was busy, but I still had the time every month and every other week to take a trip, to make these shopping trips and have the supplies for the month. So it made sense for me to do that because it saved me so much money. And it worked out, I kid you not, Scott, especially back then with how cheap everything was, I'm pretty sure like my whole day of eating used to cost me like £6 or something stupid. I mean, the entire week's worth of food to like set me probably cost me like £40-50 max for the week. And that was me eating, a large amount of food. And generally, when it came to the sauces, it would be tuna, chicken, fish, again, frozen, unfortunately, not fresh. And then carbohydrate sauces would be big bags of rice flour. I would never buy cream of rice because I could never afford it back then. So it would be rice flour, rice, potatoes, and oats. Again, bulk bought. It used to be like £5 for a bag of 20 kilos of potatoes. So as you can imagine, I ate a lot of potato. And that definitely went down pretty well. And then obviously big bags of rice in like 5 to 10 kilo bags, which are extremely cheap as well. So sticking to that and then sticking to frozen veg anyway, that always helped. And even some tinned veg and tinned pineapple back in the day.
Okay, I did that too.
When I didn't have the finances, that always helped a lot. So that was the plan of action, really. But essentially, I knew exactly how much money I had to spend each week, and that was my limit. So what I basically did, I created a method and I created almost like a roadmap of where I need to buy, what food sources I need to buy, at what price to be able to stay within that price range.
Yeah. I would be curious for any of our listeners at home, what tips do you have? Obviously, foods are more expensive today than when you were short on cash or I was short on cash. But there are still good deals out there, and I'm no stranger to them. I'm still looking for deals. I'm not eating nearly as much as I used to, so I don't have to work quite as hard at my bargain shopping like I once did. But I still do see the deals out there, and I still take advantage of a lot of them. So I'm curious too. You guys comment below. Let us know what are the other deals, and then Kuba, where else do we want to go with this? Because I think we covered a lot of food stuff. So
mate,
far.
I think that's I don't think there's anything else we can really cover. I think our listeners now have got a clear guide on what they need to do now to be able to be a frugal man, save some money, and even save on your family's shopping as well.
Yeah, and at least we get them. We hopefully we've got people thinking. How does this apply to you in the stores that are in your area? What were you not thinking of before that you maybe can apply now? Even if it saves you $20, if we can help you save $20, it's worth it.
Also, a lot of people are probably going to check themselves and see how much they're actually spending on takeaways, alcohol, coffees, and stuff they probably haven't even thought about. So.
Yeah. All right. So from here, what else do we have? They probably all want to hear about the gear side of things. So we won't cover that quite yet. Supplements, Kuba. What are the absolute necessary supplements that we have to have? And how do we find deals on that? You gave us one tip already. Yep. I think that was a great one. I've got a couple myself too.
Right. I think let's go with essentials, right? What essential supplements everyone should be taking. And that should be, in my opinion, creatine, number one. Extremely cheap, does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
Right. Magnesium, omega, good quality omega, vitamin D3 and K2. That's absolute essentials. And luckily, they are all relatively cheap. Whey protein would be on the list. However, whey protein is significantly more expensive these days than it was back in the day. However, my top tip is never ever buy supplements until companies have offers on. If you are subscribed to a lot of the email lists from various different companies have offers on almost every single month. So if you budget accordingly, and if you are patiently waiting for when the offers come in, and you stock up accordingly, so you actually have stock there just in case, you are better off buying a little bit more when the price is cheaper than having to buy at full price. That's exactly what I used to do. Every single time there was an offer on at 50% off, I would stock up and I would make sure that I have enough to last me until the next offer comes around and more with extra buffer time, so I do not run out.
We had a discount table at Vitamin Shop here.
Class.
And I would get in there and just get everything. I didn't know, different brand of protein, never used this protein before, but I guess I am this month, And if I had the money to buy 2 of them, I would. I don't even know how good it is, but how good it tastes. But I know this is a reputable brand. I'm going to buy it up and I'm going to live off of that, Or maybe they have a close dated vitamin, and that's why, I'm a big fan, and it's a plug, but it's not a plug. Supplementsource.ca, one of the companies that we work with, they have closeout deals. They're like label change products. So all of a sudden you've got this product that was like an EAA that was like $45 and now it's $15. If I could, I'd buy like 3 of them at a time, because it's not always going to be there. Or True Nutrition, I've always been a fan of them because I was on a huge budget. So like Carbo Load, it's more of a waxy maize type starch product, right? Versus it's not going to be as great as highly branched cyclic dextrin. But, I wasn't in a place where I could afford 50 grams of highly branched cyclic dextrin a day. So I would use Carbo Load. What is it? It's like $20 for 15 servings of 50 grams per serving. So if I split that in half, I could get 25 grams of carbs intra-workout for pennies, is what it would come out to for like 30 workouts.
I used to drink the unflavored cyclic dextrin from My Protein. Again, that was at 50% off. So I used to get the big bags, 2.5 kilo bags, and I used to just stockpile it all just so it's there. Yeah. And that wasn't too pleasant, but listen, it did the job, and I needed to do what I needed to do. In UK, we've got a lot of sugar-free, calorie-free squashes. It's called like Ribena or Robinson's squash. So you add a little bit to your water, it adds the flavor.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's like we have like Crystal Light.
When you come to UK, I'll show you. Basically, in UK, you've got a selection of these different squashes. So I used to use that as flavoring system to it because cyclic dextrin, if you ever tried cyclic dextrin unflavored on its own, and I've done that
and then
a few times.
Try adding some unflavored EAA to that.
Well, try blending tuna with it, and that's even worse. So what I used to do is tuna, cyclic dextrin, and then I used to actually get EAAs that were like apple flavored, and I used to put the EAAs in for flavoring, and that wasn't actually too dreadful. So I used to manage that a lot when I was working doors.
Yeah, that's brutal, man. But hey, that you wanted it, right? You wanted to do what you needed to do to make it work.
Cheap, cheerful, and it did the job. Got the results. So wasn't the most pleasant, but it allowed me to do what I needed to do and save a lot of money.
Yep, I'm with you 100%, man. So, all right, anything else on supplements?
That's it. I think, do you know what? Supplements are not a necessity. I think when you've got the basics covered, that's it. You don't need to be buying supplements. Just focus on food and buy the bare essentials. I think that's key. A lot of people waste a lot of money on supplements, I think, especially when they are on a budget. So if you are on a budget, magnesium, D3, creatine, omega, whey when it's on offer. That's it. Job done.
Yeah. I had to be careful too with even where I went to, which gym I went to. Like I had to find good pricing. In fact, Kuba, my first sponsor that I had as a bodybuilder was Nicola's Restaurant. They were a barbecue restaurant at 9 Mile and Telegraph Road. Love those guys. They have great food, but they were fans of bodybuilding and fans of MMA. So they would sponsor an MMA guy and they would sponsor a bodybuilder. And for like 3 or 4 years, man, they sponsored me and they said, hey, if you'll wear one of our t-shirts in the gym, sometimes we'd be happy to pay for your gym membership in exchange.
Actually,
So that was my first sponsor.
I actually forgot to say, me and my dad actually approached the butchers back in the day, and he used to do me a deal every month on a certain amount of food at a discounted rate, because we basically said, look, every month we're going to come and buy this amount of chicken, beef, eggs.
Yep.
Can you do me a deal? And he obliged. So sometimes, guys, I think it's worth even approaching your local butchers and saying, can you do me a deal on this set amount of meat every single month? If you can, happy days. If not, and look, what's the worst that can happen? People are going to say no, right? Now, on the topic of gym memberships, I will always say support your local gyms. Do not buy cheap chain gym memberships. Yeah. Now, look, there will always be reasonably priced gyms that are local gyms to you. I think you should always support them, and I think you should always give back to them. You don't need to sign up to your fancy gym that charges an extortionate amount of cash per month. Yeah. You can always find a privately owned gym that is well equipped, isn't fancy, doesn't have flashy lights, and is reasonably priced so that it stays within your budget.
Yeah, we have gyms here where like you get a towel and a locker, like they give you a towel and things every time you. No, no.
All you need is a good gym, spit and sawdust, owned privately by a nice gym owner. Give money give them the money. Do not give money to chain gyms. Please, guys, make sure you support your local gyms and local businesses as well.
Yeah, all across the board, man. I'm with you 100%. Unfortunately, we don't have as many local butchers, and I don't want to keep muddying our topics, but I'm with you on that butcher thing too. I used to get chicken ground by a butcher, and now he'd have to clean the machine in order to do that because he's always doing beef, right? Yeah. But he would clean it, and I'd get him to do like 25 pounds at once and put it in these big plastic bags. I'd have all this ground chicken, which was cool because it changed up the texture, gave me something different and fresh to eat.
I actually have a mincer, and I mince meat myself.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. I mince a lot of venison. I make like little burgers. I make little burgers from venison. So when you mince it and you vacuum seal it, it literally creates a burger. So it's unbelievable, Scott. And venison, like, it's leaner than chicken. So it's I love red meat, but obviously a lot of red meat can be quite fatty. So venison and the venison burgers is like, I could eat them all day, but I have one a day, and I'm like, that will do. That will do, pig.
I love that.
Don't get too carried away.
I love that. I'm with you on the gym thing and just supporting local business in general. I was lucky, like I said, my first sponsor paid for my gym membership. And part of that is it's the relationships. We're talking about relationships here too. Yeah, in order to get the memberships you're talking about at a restaurant place, you got to know how to talk to people. If you don't have a business ID, in order to get a butcher to work with you and give you deals, or to find the place to get that cheap cod, you got to be able to talk to people, in order to get the deal I had getting my gym membership paid for, which I look back at it, man, $200 a year. But to me, that was huge. It was a huge difference for me, man. It really made a lot of difference in my finances.
Mate, it's also nice. I mean, listen, if someone can do that for you, it's extra boost of motivation for you, because someone's clearly looking to invest into you, which is always a nice feeling. And listen, there's always relationships you can create by simply being nice to people and speaking to people. So do not be afraid to approach people. What's the worst that can happen? Someone's going to say no. I mean, if someone says no, you say thank you and you move on. That's it.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you. Hey, how about the gear side of things? We gotta get into the gear.
Gonna have to. Right. This is a tricky one, because with gear, very often you pay for what you get. However, there is different compounds that are going to be more expensive than others. We can accept that, right? Yeah. If you are on a tight budget, I would always opt for the cheaper options. We both know that Prima Bowling is extremely expensive. Yeah. So guess what? If you're on a budget, you probably don't have the money to spend a fortune on Primo. So the old saying, test is the best, comes back around, because test is cheap. Test is the best in this scenario, and test is going to be your best friend. So invest in a lot of testosterone. If you can handle some of the anxiety that can come with it. You can use a little bit of EQ, but then again, if you can get a good deal on Mastron, Mastron could be a go-to. But personally, if I was on a budget, and I was on a budget back in the day when I was younger, I actually stuck to mainly testosterone.
Yeah, I could see that.
Testosterone, and even back in the day, there used to be amps of 100 milligram Deca from, I think it was Greek.
Oh, were they like the blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the Organon. Norma Deca.
There
was Norma Deca. There was Organon, Sus, and Deca.
Okay,
in amps. So pretty much the first few of my cycles was literally 100 milligrams of Deca per week and like 250 up to 500 mg of test. That's it. And I did have to take a little bit of Nolvadex with it as well.
Yeah.
Just so I wasn't lactating. So where there's a will, there's a way, guys. I'm not saying that the cycle design that's most budget friendly is going to be the healthiest. It probably won't be.
True.
It probably won't be. But guess what? It's going to be fairly cheap and affordable. If you are on an extremely tight budget and Mastron's not an option, EQ is going to cause you issues, and you know that you can't deal with the anxiety it may cause you, or the damage with your hematocrit, etc., which we know a lot of people are very prone to it.
Yeah.
Test and an II. Both very, very cheap.
Old school.
It's going to get the job done, and it's going to keep a lot of pennies in your pocket if you need it. So
yeah, you know what I did too, Kuba. We used to get the Finacart, the Finacart cartridges. Yeah, Finaplex.
Oh,
and I got, it was like maybe $30 for what equated to like, I think we got like 20 mils of Tren out of that. So it was like $30-$40 for the little cartridge. And then from there, once you invested in buying the solvents that you needed and the oil, which, you know, still came out to be a lot cheaper even in that first batch. And then you'd have all that oil and solvent to do it again for another $30. So I went that route more than one occasion. And there were even points that a cycle for me may have been test with, like, I don't want to run a bunch of Tren, but like, I'm just going to run a low dose Tren just to push my total MGs up.
Why not?
You know, and it worked for me, you know, like,
do you know, Scott?
Yeah.
I have changed my views on Tren a lot.
Okay.
Because I have experimented with Tren in off season quite often.
Yeah.
And I have ran Tren at a very low dose for like 20 plus weeks at 50, between 50 to 100 milligrams. And guess what? No lipid skewing, no blood work issues at all. My blood work looked identical to what it did on just the same cycle as I ran without the Trenbolone, with just Test, Mass, and Primo.
50 per week?
50 up to 100. So 50 for the first few weeks, and then I pretty much did like 100 milligrams for like, I think 17 weeks.
Yeah, so 100 would be like, you know, 25 every other day. And I guarantee you that, I mean, like milligram for milligram, it's so much stronger than testosterone. It's not like taking 25 tests.
Yeah.
You know, you're adding something in that's definitely going to boost that cycle up. Yeah, I've done that myself, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about, actually, is I had done things like that because like I just couldn't afford to do more. And then I leaned into the training. I leaned into the diet, and I made sure that I got the most I could out of those things, and I still made progress, you know?
The devil is always in the dose with Trenbolone. I truly believe that. It's not the compound itself that's the issue. It's just more so how much you take of it. If you take a very high amount of Tren, it does more damage than good, in my opinion. So a low dose of Tren could be an option. Where I think people need to tread carefully is people that, especially when it comes to compounds like Trenbolone, EQ, NPP, are the people that are very prone to like overthinking, and bodybuilding is full of people that overthink to death. You've got a lot of people that are, you know, mentally they need work, right? So if you are the type of person that overthinks a lot, please just avoid 19 nors, avoid EQ, because it's not going to serve you well. I promise you, even at low doses, I've seen it cause issues for sure. I mean, I've seen just normal test cycles cause issues, never mind adding Trenbolone or Deca or MPP. And so just tread carefully, guys, when it comes to these compound choices. And ultimately, if you want a good deal on the old anabolics, again, speak to people, see what they can do for you, see if they can do you a deal if you bulk buy.
Yeah.
There's always a deal to be had. And like I've said before, what's the worst that can happen? They can say no. But if they say yes, guess what? You've saved some money again. Win-win.
Yeah. And you know, all the content that we do, we talk about how like the diet is this certain way, in the gear, these compounds, this compound is going to change. I never want to come off that way, that you must use something, because I do feel like people get it in their heads where like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do now because I'm not running growth? And Kuba and Scott are talking all about GH, and I can't afford that. So I guess I can't do bodybuilding. And that's the wrong mindset. Instead of looking at the things you can't do, and this is something that was once said to me, I'll never forget when Shelby said to me, man, instead of focusing on the things that you don't have control of and that you can't do, focus on the things that you can do.
Absolutely.
It's like there's so many more of those things out there, you know.
Mate, imagine if you spent all day thinking about the things that you cannot do, or thinking about the things that are necessarily holding you back. I mean, I couldn't think of anything worse, because you would just be constantly in like a negative state of mind. Like, you have to look at things as an opportunity to find a way to keep making progress. And when people say, oh, I can't take growth, oh my God, I won't be able to do this. I have had so many guys turn pro without using growth.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. Like, none of these drugs are a necessity. Yes, sure, they will help. But guess what? They will not override effort and consistency over time.
Agreed. 100%.
Most of you can absolutely achieve majority of your goals if you're willing to put the work in, if you're willing to stay consistent, and actually rinse and repeat the process. Focus on the process, not the drugs. Because if it was down to the drugs, the guys that have access to the best drugs were the biggest guys in the world. That's just not the case.
Yeah, no, it's not, man. Believe me.
Nope. Trust me.
All right. Is there anything else? I know we had some listener questions too. Is there anything else on our budget topic though that we want to cover?
Mate, I think we've covered it front, side, and back. We've covered everything, I think. Guys, if you have got any questions or anything that we may have potentially missed, just let us know and we'll probably cover it in the next episode. But bodybuilding, in my opinion, and Scott, I'm not sure where you stand on it, it's not actually that expensive. There is other hobbies, in my opinion, that are far more expensive than bodybuilding. Bodybuilding lifestyle can actually make you extremely mindful of your spending. And in my opinion, it can actually lead to you saving money in various different ways, because you stop wasting money and you stop wasting food. You're not wasting money on garbage you don't fucking need.
Yeah, that is absolutely true, man. There came a point where like I wasn't going to buy it if it didn't have protein in it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
all right,
man.
So listen, we've got a bunch of listener questions here, and I'm excited to get at some of these with you. I like this one a lot, by the way. I can't remember if this is just a question or a comment. It's kind of long, but I'll read it and see where it goes. He says, I'm a self-managed amateur, and I'm going for my first local show ever at the age of 44. I've been training and dieting seriously since I stopped training karate at the age of 26. So a good while now. Dealing with life and surviving prevented me from competing, but now is the time and now is the moment that I can finally see the path forward. So thank you so much for this information. I hope you don't mind me applying your year, the way we put the year together in the last episode, putting goals together for long focused prep towards a show. At this point, I can't afford a trainer. I don't even know how I'm going to allow the cost of additional days off of work to recover my legs better, or in general to grow some, never mind the food and supplements. Thank you, Kuba. So anyway, point being, man, that I think is hopefully going to get some value from this episode we've just done here. And listen, you don't need a coach. Like a coach, like coaching is great. I mean, Kuba and I both, like, this is what part of our incomes are. we coach. But if you can't afford a coach, understand it's not the end of the world. You still can do it yourself. And that's a big part of what the podcast is about. We can only help so many people. And I want to try to get that information out there. And if you really focus and listen to the things we're saying, like you really can apply it, listen and listen to your body and figure out what you need to do for you on your own, you know?
Being honest, if you listen back to all of the episodes on this channel, with me, with Scott, with all the other guys, you probably don't need a coach.
Yeah.
If you make enough notes and if you take in enough knowledge, you will know how to peak yourself. You will know all about drugs. You will know all about off-season. You will know all about prep, cardio, nutrition, training. There's so much content that we have done and we continue to put out across all our platforms. You probably don't need a coach. Where a coach is going to be extremely valuable is to the clients that really want to step it up to that next level, and the clients that want the extra accountability and need that hands-on approach. But look, guys, if any of you are watching this and you don't have the finances, you don't need a coach. Like, do you know what? Sometimes when I have a client leave and they say, look, like, I don't need a coach no more because I know what I need to know now to keep achieving my goals. Like, that's my mission completed as a coach. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
So just put that into perspective. You don't need a coach to do this. There's so many people that do this without a coach. All you need is just a good attention span, and you need to be subscribed to Think Big Bodybuilding.
And over to Kuba's page too, man. You got all sorts of stuff over there.
And you need to be listening to our shows. That's it.
Yeah. I am with you 100%, man. All right. Next one, real quick one. What brand are Kuba's glasses?
RA Optics. I have worn them since 2019.
Okay.
And I actually have a discount code on now, Kuba 10.
I thought you did.
Yeah,
what is it?
Yeah, Kuba 10. Kuba 10.
Kuba 10. All right.
Kuba 10. Kuba 10 for trained by JP and RA Optics.
Give me the link. I will make sure to post that down below too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The guys are unbelievable. And I kid you not, I'm not sure if you wear blue light blockers, but these blue light blockers really do the business, mate. I'm not going to lie.
Really? So I have it. It's built into my glasses.
I
don't know.
Work. No.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. I don't.
If it's not that shade, it doesn't really work.
Yeah. I didn't know whether it would work or not, but they've offered that and they're like, oh, well, we can just put it in for free. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Whatever.
It's coming, Scott. It's coming.
All right. I got a DEXA scan today. After 5.5 months, I gained 13.2 pounds, gained 8.1 pounds of lean body mass, and gained 4.9 pounds of fat. I'm sitting at 14.7% body fat. Would you cut at this point, or would you continue around maintenance calories? This was on TRT, 150 milligrams a test with 10 milligrams of VAR for 20 weeks. Want to add 2 IU of growth soon.
Please send us your pictures, mate, instead of using a DEXA scan. DEXA scans are not that accurate, and I would personally not use a DEXA scan for any gauge of progression, because I am pretty certain a couple of my clients used the DEXA scan, and 1 week he had a test. It came up with all this data. Literally the week after, he used a different company, different place, same DEXA scan, and it gave completely different data again. So I do not believe in DEXA scans at all. Instead, what you should do, my friend, if you are listening, please send us over your pictures, and both myself and Scott will assess your pictures, and we can then give you a bit of a guideline on what steps you should take next.
I'll go with that.
How's that sound?
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
You can hit us up over at the great place would be join the Facebook group for Think Big. And we have a bunch of good people over there. It's not a huge group, but we got like 2,000 people that listen to the shows, and they will post up things for critique and training and, share things and all of that. So you're welcome to join over there. Hit me up from there.
I'm in that. I like the group.
Kuba's in the group. That's right. All right. So we're going back to what we were talking about when it comes to growing muscle.
Yep.
And Philster81 says, okay, so that's 40 pounds in 30 weeks, or a little over a pound gained per week. Technically, it would be 50 pounds increase since from his most depleted state. So how can you accurately assess that the weight gain is muscle or fat or gear related water bloat accurately? Do you use the mirror? What if you can't tell the difference between bloat and fat? What's the optimal amount of weight gain that should be expected per week during a massing phase? 1 pound, even with gear?
So right, so let's just rewind. First, I don't get bloated. I don't really push for that. My compound selections do not drive bloat or excessive water gain. I'm not a fan of that sort of cycle design because it skews the assessment. So all off season, I take pictures twice per week. I take
Okay.
pictures on a Sunday fasted and I take pictures on a Thursday fasted. That's entire year round. So I am assessing my pictures every single week, twice per week. So I know what is going on, and I can see, you cannot see a visual difference in musculature and size on a week-to-week basis, but you can see shifts in fluid or body fat gain if things are starting to move too quickly. So if you are gaining a ton of bloat and water weight, assess your setup and change it, because that is not going to contribute to true contractile muscle. In fact, I would argue it's probably going to be of detriment to your training performance and recovery, because your sleep probably will suffer, your appetite and digestion will suffer. If you cannot digest your food, it's doing nothing. If you can't eat, you're not going to grow. So generally, the slower the better. And the reason why I have been able to add a decent amount of muscle tissue throughout that phase is because I started very lean and I was extremely patient. I didn't push the drugs hard out of the gate. I escalated slowly. I didn't take any drugs that would drive an excessive amount of water. I didn't use high amounts of insulin. I didn't use any orals in the off season. And guess what? This gave me a clear metric of assessment of my visuals week to week. There wasn't any variables that were skewing the water or the visuals to that degree. So food for thought, guys. And
I like that.
I'm 247 pounds today at 3 weeks out. Last time I competed, my lowest point was like 226 and I competed at 230.
Wow.
And I very much doubt I am going to be under 240 this year.
That's awesome, dude. That's a huge amount of gain.
I'll probably be about 15 pounds up from last year.
Stage weight, that's an incredible amount of size.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. Like, that's a lot. Think about what 15 pounds of hamburger meat looks like. And now spread that all over the spots that we want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Over the back, over the shoulders, over the biceps, over the quads. It's a lot of muscle, man.
It's looking pretty decent, Scott. I'm never going to be satisfied. But,
of course, if you were, then I'd be worried. You know what I mean?
But with what I have done this year and what I've showed you of the timeline, like, I am extremely confident with my approach now.
That's today, or that's now?
That's from actually like 5 days ago before my refeeds.
Can I post this on the show?
You can do if you want. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, people want to see that, man. Looks fucking sick, dude. You look freaky.
Yeah, it's getting close, man. It's getting close.
Hey, a couple things I'll add to him is, as that weight's going up, I'm with you, man. Nice and slow crawl upward, but a consistent, nice, slow crawl upward. And then you kind of mentioned too, digestion. How's that digestion going? Yeah. How's your strength going? Are you getting stronger along the way? These are some of the things. And of course, the mirror, the pictures.
I'll show you my fattest body parts as well.
Okay.
Because there's no point me showing you my leanest. I might as well show you my fattest.
If he's doing this himself, then I would suggest still taking those pictures just
Absolutely.
Like you are, because you can't judge it just looking in the mirror. You know what I mean? It's easier to separate yourself and put those pictures up, compare them to 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And over time, you get better and better as your eye gets tuned. I can't explain it, but the more experience you have, I do this all day long, every day, as does Kuba. And that the longer you've coached, it's kind of like when you're driving down the road, most of us have experience driving, right? Or most people listening to the show do, I'm sure. And you don't always think about when you switch lanes, why you're doing it. It's not like a conversation you're having. It just becomes an intuitive thing. You know, you just know, like, I'm switching lanes. And if somebody stopped, a less experienced person said, well, why did you switch lanes? You might have to stop even and think like, okay, why did I do that? But the reality is you're taking in so much information that you're not even registering in a way that you can then articulate. You know what I'm saying? That you just, there's a level of gut intuition that goes along with it. So part of it is listening to what we're saying, but then just getting in there and doing it, and then seeing how the cards fall, seeing how everything goes. And then after that, learning from it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, maybe that was a little bit too fast. You know, I'll go slower next time.
Mate, this is what it's all about. This is why I love bodybuilding so much, because it's about doing the work. It's about learning from your mistakes and then applying yourself better next time. That's what it's all about. Like, I have gotten to the point where I am now because of all the years of mistakes that I've made. A lot of people are often under the impression that the more advanced you get as a bodybuilder, the less progress you make. For me, it's actually been the opposite, because
15 pounds, guys.
The more advanced I've gotten as a bodybuilder, more of an understanding I have around my nutrition, training, recovery, more progress I'm able to make. But a lot of people often say that sometimes, like, paying attention to these variables stresses them out. For me, it's the opposite. Like, because I am in control and I am dialed in with these variables, I am completely relaxed, Scott, because I am not only confident with the process, but I know that what I'm doing right now is exactly what's going to push me forward the most. So you couldn't be any more relaxed, because all there's to it is just do the work, be patient, stay chilled, do just enough, do what's required, don't do anything extra, don't do anything less, and stay on the course. That's it. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, dude, your fattest areas are not that fat. Like, you're looking lean. Yeah. You're cut all the way up to the, like, hamstring is cut all the way up to the glute.
That's from 4 weeks out. So that was from this weekend just gone.
Yeah, this is fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Your back is looking a lot better, dude. Like, it's come up a good amount.
My back was dog shit.
Everything is really balanced looking. Like, you're top to bottom in that rear. You know, the relaxed poses are so exposing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's my weakest pose as well. So I wanted to send you my fattest and my weakest pose. Do you know what I mean? Because if I send you my front shot, Scott, you're like, fuck me, dude. You're ready to step on stage. So it's a waste of time. I don't even look at my front shots now. I've not been looking at them from like 6 weeks out.
Yeah, these look good, dude. I'm really excited to see how this goes, man, and see how this look stacks up, you know?
Honestly, Scott, I don't care where it stacks up. For me.
Yeah, for you. Me as a fan, I do.
Mate, for me, like, the difference in my physique, I finally feel like a legit IFBB pro now.
I love that, dude. That's cool.
That's how I feel now. So I can say that with a bit more pride. Like, I am an IFBB pro. I feel like I deserve that badge now with the progress that I've made this year.
I love that, man.
So
hell yeah. Hey, I got one more for you.
And listen, and this just gets me more excited for the future as well, because, like, I still know there's a lot more to give. So
yeah,
go on, hit me.
All right. Okay. Love the show, guys. Kuba came through with some great content once again, but we didn't do the word at the end of the episode to show that you listened all the way through.
I'm sorry. We are going to do it this time, though. We are going to do it this time.
I saved that one for the end, man.
Yeah.
Right. That was the question.
Listen, if you have made it to the very end, make sure you comment. What shall we say? Shall we say budget? Comment budget below, and everyone will know what we're talking about. Or
that's a good one. Yeah,
budget.
Fitting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fitting.
it is.
Yeah.
It is quite fitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Right, guys.
That's good, man.
If you have made it to the very end, comment budget below and we'll know that you are the true fans of the podcast. And you know what? I always listen to the very end, every single podcast. I liked your podcast with Jordan the other day.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, it was great to get him on too. And we didn't intentionally do it, but we beat everybody else out. We were like the first people to record with him. So I tried to get that up as soon as possible. He's a cool dude. You know, he absolutely loves the sport.
I love him.
Sounds like he's training his ass off down there in Texas, you know, and he's getting those great results. It's cool to see him. It paid off. You know?
He's genuine. He's super nice. I love his content. I love how much of a good person he is. You can tell he has not got a bad bone in his body. Like, he's just such an amazing person. So he deserves all the success. I truly believe that. So massive well done to him. Massive well done to him. And thank you for bringing tremendous content.
Dude, it's my pleasure. And with that, I have to run. I've got a 17-year-old client about to do his first show this weekend. We're going to do some posing right now.
Yeah, for me, it's bedtime, mate. I'm not going to lie. I am going to bed in literally 20 minutes. So guys, you should be feeling lucky because at this time, I never, ever do anything. So that is special moments. I love doing these podcasts with Scott. So I've had a very busy day and I am spent. I'm not going to lie. Guys, before we wrap up, if there's anything specific you want us to cover or any more questions you have, please make sure you comment below. Scott, have you got any more questions that we haven't covered that we need to cover next time?
We had a couple odds and ends. We could bring them back, but just
make sure you note them down and make sure we'll cover them because I don't want any of the listeners to feel like they're left out. I want to make sure that everyone gets looked after and everyone gets the questions answered. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Show Scott some love. He's doing a fantastic job. You can tell that, you know, this channel means a lot to him. And if we can keep supporting him, we definitely should do that. So let's do it. Scott, thank you, man. And hopefully we'll catch up again soon. I'll let you take the lead and sign us out.
Absolutely, guys. Definitely also follow Kuba and everything he's doing as he closes in on the show. So, you know, you have so much stuff that's coming out on Instagram. You've got your YouTube channel. I'm excited to follow along myself, guys. And of course, truenutrition.com, use our code ThinkOverThere, supplementsource.ca for Canadians. Thank you to everybody from Patreon. In fact, hit me up with questions for the next episode with Kuba on Patreon. We will get those out. And for another episode of the podcast here with Kuba, guys, we'll see you soon. Thank you, Kuba.
Appreciate you all, guys. Thank you.